All right. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. Welcome back to some little consecutive integer word problems here. So let's get right into it today. So questions we're going to do with today are going to be ones that look like this, right? Four consecutive even numbers. 4 times the smallest, minus twice the largest is 4. What's the smallest number? So for this, we're going to need to create a key, and that's what we're going to talk about first. So a couple things, right? What do we mean by integers? What are the integers, right? And so if you remember, the integers, okay, are the positive and negative whole numbers. All right. So as you guys are working through that, keep in mind that that's what we're talking about. So when we talk about consecutive integers, okay, the word consecutive to us means that they follow in a sequence, okay? So they follow in a sequence, all right? Um, in this case, it's one more than the next number, right? So it's one after the next. One after the next, okay? In our case, it's one more than the previous number in terms of consecutive integers, right? So this is one more than previous number. All right. So remember the even integers now, okay, have to start with, and they follow the formula, right? 2n plus, or just 2n, okay, where n is any integer. So if you think like 1, 2, 3, 4, if you double that number, right, even 0, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. That's how we're getting that number, okay? So an even number, right, is 2 more than the previous number, and starting with 0, right, or 2 less as well. So, and if you think about it, right, is 0, 2, 4, 6, and we keep going that way. You can also go negative too, so keep that in mind. So odd integers follow the formula 2n plus 1, where we start with the same thing. If n is an integer, so 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, it follows that same thing. And it's the same exact setup here, right? Each number is 2 more than the previous number. You want to say odd, you can say odd number here, right? So if we're starting with, and you can kind of even do this, like dot, 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 right? Negative 1, 1, 3, 5, right? And it goes on forever that way. And that's what we're looking at here. Okay, so our strategy here is going to be to, the first question we want to do is you always want to make a key. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make a key. We want to determine what number we're going to start with, and usually it's x. So for consecutive integers, right, x is going to equal the first number or first integer. Then to get from that integer to the next one, right, for consecutive integers, remember it's just one more than the previous one. So this is going to be x plus 1, and that's going to equal the second integer. And then one more than that is x plus 2, right? That's the third. And then we're going to keep going, okay? So x plus 3, x plus 4, x plus 5 if we need to. All right. For consecutive even integers, we're going to start with the first one. We're going to start with x. So this is the first, and we're going to say even integer. Remember, to get from the next one, right, we have to add 2. So instead of adding x plus 1, we're going to do x plus 2. And this is equal to the second even integer. And then x plus 4 is going to equal the third. And notice that I'm writing its even integer after it. So a difference between just an integer and an even integer. For consecutive odd, it's going to follow the same pattern as this. We're going to let x equal the first odd integer. Okay. Remember, from 3 to 5, we have to add 2. So this is the second odd integer, and then x plus 4, the third. If we need another one, that would be x plus 6, okay? So we're just adding 2 to those. So here's some examples. We have 4 consecutive even numbers, 4 times the smallest. Now, so let's just stop there. So I know I need 4 consecutive even integers, so there's my key. So x is going to equal the first even number, x plus 2 is equal to the second. Notice with my key I'm being specific here, right? X plus 4 is the third. And then x plus 6 is equal to the fourth. Okay, now we're going to make our equation. So it says 4 times the smallest minus twice the largest is 4. Remember, is our equal here, right? So 4 times the smallest, so the smallest one's x, that's the first one. So 4 times the smallest minus twice the largest. So the largest is x plus 6. So we're going to do 2. And it's not just 2 times x plus 6, right? Because this is only multiplying the x. We have to multiply it times the quantity that represents that even number, okay? So we need parentheses there. And this is equal to 4. So if you think about it, if I'm adding these numbers together and getting 4, one of them is probably negative, right? So keep that in mind here. Okay, so we're going to solve. So I distribute the negative 2. So 4x, now minus 2x, and then negative 2 times positive 6 is negative 12. Remember, we multiply the numbers, and if it's different signs, it's negative, the same sign positive, is equal to 4, and then we're going to solve. So combine like terms, this is going to be 2x minus 12 is equal to 4. We add 12, and we're going to get 2x is equal to 16. Divide by 2, and we get x is equal to 8. All right. And look at that. I was wrong on this one, right? We talked about negative. Look at this. Start with the first number. It's 8, right? So the smallest even number is 8. The next one, if we need to do, would be 10, 12, 14, okay? So what do we learn here, right? Don't be like me. Don't make assumptions about what the number is going to be, okay? And if you want to check it, go for it. So if I plug in here, I know this number is going to be 8, and this number is going to be 14. So if I plug it in, 4 times 8 minus 2 times, remember this is the largest, right? So it's going to be 14, right? Because it's 8 plus 6. That needs to equal 4. And then you could just plug right in, okay? This is actually not what I did, right? X is 8. So 4 times 8 minus 2 times 8 plus 6 is equal to 4. I would suggest plugging in the x rather than taking the number and putting it in, because if you made a mistake in what number this is, it might not necessarily show up here. So 4 times 8 is 32, right? Minus 2 times 14. And this is 32 minus, and this becomes 28. And that is indeed 4. So that's how you can check it. Okay, let's go to the next one. 3 consecutive even integers whose sum is negative 30. So x is equal to the first even integer, x plus 2 then, because it's even, so we want to skip one. So is the second even, and by the way, the symbol for integer looks like this, okay? It's a z, and it's got an extra bar in there. You might even see a little line going through the middle, but if you want to use that, go ahead. And then x plus 4 is equal to the third even integer, but it's really not that long to write the word out. So, all right. So find 3 consecutive even integers whose sum, remember sum is another word for add, okay, to negative 30. So that means x plus 2 plus x plus 4 is equal to negative 30. Combine like terms here. We get 3x plus 6 is equal to negative 30. Move the 6 over. 3x is equal to negative 36. which means x is equal to negative 12. So now I have to state my answer, right? It says find them. So negative 12 is the first even integer. We're adding 2 to that, so it's going to go down. Negative 10 is the second even integer, right? And then negative 8 is the third even integer. All right, and there's our answer. Okay, find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 72. So same concept here. Consecutive even, so it's going to be x is the first even integer, x plus 2 is the second even integer, and then we got x plus 4 is the third even integer. Okay, so x plus 2 plus x plus 4, once again we have sums, we're adding, is equal to 72. So this is 3x plus 6 is equal to 72. Minus 6 from both sides. 3x is equal to, in this case, it's going to be 66. And then we divide by 3 and we get 22 for an answer. So we plug in. So 22 is the first. We can say the even integers are, so we have 22, add 2 to it, 24, and then 26. I'm going to let you guys do this one. I'll pop the answer up in a second just so you can check it out. So try 4 now. Try it. Pause it. Pause it. All right. All right, so we got our key. We got the equation. Combine like terms. Move the 6 over. Divide by 3, we get 32. And then we stand our answer. 32, 34, 36. All right, here we go. All right. Challenge question. Not a consecutive integer problem, okay? So the second of 4 numbers is 2 more than the first. The third number is twice the first number. The fourth number is 4 more than the third number. The fourth number exceeds 3 times the second number by 6. Find the number. So this is a little different, right? We have 4 numbers, okay? So we're going to let x. First we got to start with one of them, okay? So it says the second of 4 numbers is 2 more than the first number. So we need to know the first number, obviously, first. So x is equal to the first number. So the second number is, so the second number equals, right, 2 more than the first number. So that would be x plus 2, 2 more. So that's the second number. All right. The third number is twice the first number. Let's see if you guys can come up with that key. All right. Hopefully you guys came up with 2x. The fourth number is 4 more than the third number. Okay, so what's the third number? What's 4 more than that? And hopefully you got 2x plus 4. Number. All right, there we go. So it says if the fourth number exceeds 3 times the second number by 6, find the numbers. Now, exceeds is kind of an interesting word. All right. What this tells us is that the fourth number is equal to 3 times the second. So 3 times the second. But this number is bigger, right? It exceeds it. So in order to make these equal, I have to take this extra number, what it exceeds by, and I have to add it on to the end. Okay? So exceeds tells us that they're equal when we add something to the second part of this, to the other side of the equation, away from what this is, what the number, what's being, the number is that exceeding the other number. So if the fourth number is exceeding, that means I have to add something on to the third number to make them equal. And here I'm adding 6, okay? So now I'm going to plug in here. My fourth number is 2x plus 4. Right, my third number was 2x, okay? And, sorry, remember, it's 3 times the second. So 3 times the second is x plus 2, and then we add 6 to it. And so this is the equation we get out of it. Okay, does that make sense? So exceeds, they're equal, okay? But this number's bigger, Well, in order for them to be equal, this is the bigger number, so I have to add something on to the smaller part here. Okay, so they're the same. So if it exceeds by 6, I add 6 away from that number to the other side of that number. Okay. So we get 2x plus 4. I'm going to distribute the 3 through. So 3x plus 6 plus another 6. And then 2x plus 4 is 3x plus 12. And then I'm going to subtract the 2x because I want to get the x's positive first. So 4 is equal to x plus 12 minus 12. And I get negative 8 is equal to x. This is find the numbers, right? So the first number, so the numbers are, we can plug in, right? Negative 8. If we plug negative 8 in here, right, it's going to equal negative 6. If we double negative 8, we're going to get negative 16. And if we plug that in here, we're going to get 16, right, plus 4, right, which is going to be, so 2 times negative 8 plus 4 is negative 16 plus 4, which is negative 12. All right? There you go, guys. So for homework tonight, that other sheet has 6 questions on it. Once you guys have finished that one up, for homework, you should have about another 25 minutes or so here, or 20 minutes. Finish that up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.